So first of all, let me just say, Happy New Year to you and to your audience. But boy, January 2022, 2 years ago, 1 year ago, really did not think we would be where we are right now. So where we are right now is basically the largest wave of infections that we've seen ever in the pandemic, right? And it's primarily driven, in fact, the data from the CDC show that the vast majority of the virus that's circulating in the United States right now is this Omicron variant. 90 or 95% or more of the virus is this Omicron. And it's essentially a very, very different form of the virus than what originally came out of Wuhan in 2020. Very different from the Alpha and Beta variants, quite different from the Delta variant. This is all my personal opinion, of course, that I'm sharing here. But there's been a lot in the lay press and among some of the experts around what's happening in South Africa being quite reassuring. So what happened in South Africa is right around our Thanksgiving, they had this huge spike in cases, and then within a few weeks, I think by Christmas, it was way back down. And so I think some people have been very reassured by that and saying, that's potentially then what we will see here. And so that we should probably see a peak sometime in the next couple of weeks, and then it'll come back down, and that maybe then we'll be back to the way we were before Thanksgiving. I'm very concerned, though, that, number one, I'm going to state the obvious. This is not South Africa, right? Certainly, let's hope we follow the path of South Africa, right? And then I think we then be going into the spring, I think, in relatively good shape. But unfortunately, we still have lots and lots of people that are not vaccinated. And so I don't foresee a time in the near future where we're not going to have SARS-CoV-2 infection. I mean, I think there's going to be virus there, and I think what we have some control over as a society is the lowest amount of community spread there is, the less chance there is for the virus to continue to mutate, right? Because that's what we're worried about as well, right? If you give the virus lots and lots of chance to replicate, make more copies of itself, that's how it then generates the mutations that potentially then leads to these novel variants. And then hopefully going into February, March, that we'll be able to be back the way we were thinking we were going to be back in November. But I just want to warn folks that, this is a different setting, a different season, and that, we do have to be ready that this may actually go on for quite some period of time. And then the other, hate to be a Debbie Downer, but I think the virus has shown us, what about the next variant, right? I mean, we have, each time we think that we've been getting on top of this, right, the virus has thrown us a curveball or has thrown us a surprise. And so, we do know that this Omicron variant, actually its derivation does not come from Delta. It comes from actually much more earlier in the viral evolutionary tree. So it's totally different from Delta. And could we now see some combination of Omicron and Delta? Could we see some other variant? I think given the way the pandemic has gone, we just have to be prepared that that something else could still happen. And that's why I would say, as much as possible, if you're not vaccinated, get vaccinated. If you've been vaccinated but eligible for a boost, get a boost. And then really to use the masks and to really be careful with how you're interacting with people, especially if you have any symptoms.